The wayfarer must ensure that as they elevate in spiritual stations, in ahwal, in maqamat, they must protect this with istiqāmah. And istiqāmah, according to Shaykh Abu Ali al-Jawzajani, is إن الاستقامة هي إقامة القلب مع الله بالمؤافقة ومجاهدة الظاهر بالمخالصة. That steadfastness is to remain in conformity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in every moment of your life. That there can never be a lapse, an error, even in thought, in intention, and then in action, in your adab, in your etiquette, your manners, in your worship. If someone is rude to you, you do not respond in a rude fashion. You respond with compassion. If someone grins at you, you smile back. But if someone frowns at you, you also smile back. If someone does not offer you a gift, it doesn't matter. You unilaterally give them a gift. If someone refuses to come to your house anymore because of any reason, you go to their house, you bring a tray of sweets and present it. If someone has wronged you, you do not wait for their apology. Instead, you go and say, I apologize on my behalf. Maybe I have done something wrong. I do not remember and you are displeased with me, so please forgive me. Families have long-standing disputes with one each other. Brothers, sisters, parents, children, cousins, over non-issues, and they spend years upon years separated from each other. Friends who are very close, best friends, over small disagreements, don't speak to each other. This is not the way of spirituality, not the way of tasawwuf, not the way of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maintain ties with those who cut off ties with you. Offer happiness, joy to those who have given you grief and sadness. Another aspect of this is sometimes we live in places around the world that are not very conducive to a Muslim lifestyle. They can be racist people, they can be anti-religious people, they can be people who challenge you because of the skin that you have, the religion that you have, the background that you have, the class that you have. Happens often amongst young people is they become rebellious, they become angered and frustrated, and out of that frustration they become extremist in their speech, in their language, in their thoughts. And they respond to social constraints and oppression with similar oppression. And they generalize that if one portion of society, one segment of society is racist or Islamophobic or anti-Muslims, then everyone must be like that. And they generalize everybody. But the way of tasawwuf is not like this. If someone challenges you, someone opposes you, you learn to forgive. You become humble and down to earth. And you think maybe they've had a bad experience with a Muslim. Maybe they've had a bad interaction. Maybe they've had a difficult life. You give them the benefit of the doubt rather than generalizing. This applies to every aspect of your life. Always give others the benefit of the doubt. It's called Husn al-Dhan. If you see someone making a mistake, don't judge them. Maybe they forgot. Maybe it was a lapse in judgment. Maybe it was a miscalculation. Maybe they were obliged. Maybe they were forced. As Shaykh al-Islam says in Kitab al-Futuwa, that a young noble youth does not judge other people, does not look at their mistakes, rather they analyze their own mistakes. What we do is spend our lives finding weaknesses and shortcomings in others. Whereas this is like wearing glasses that are tinted, whether a blue tint, a green tint, a black tint. When you wear sunglasses, you see everything in dark mode. And this is when you see faults in others. In fact, the Sufis say you are looking at your own faults, and from your own faults, you are projecting them upon others. When you think that this person is very rude, in fact, my dear brothers, it is we ourselves who are rude. This person is very arrogant. Respected brothers, we are projecting our own arrogance of our ego upon others. This person is very selfish, very self-centered. He always boasts about himself, his achievements. No, this is something we desire. We're projecting it. We see them in the lens that we are ourselves. So we do not look at the faults of others. If you spend your lifetime looking at the faults of others, how will we rectify ourselves? How will we improve ourselves? How will we nourish ourselves? How will we make progress on the path towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Maybe they are making mistakes. Maybe they rectify themselves a few days before they die. But if you spend your whole lifetime looking at others' faults and do not reform yourselves, you will perish and die from this world being a sinner and a disobedient person. Brothers, we should look at ourselves, be accountable, self-critical, reflect on our shortcomings, reform them, and then change our ways.